Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. So I thought I would just do a kind of bonus video. I don't know if you've ever spoken at something or even written something, and you know how you kind of think, oh man, I should have said this, or you just have these extra thoughts later on. Well, I had a lot of those for February. Hopefully I can remember all of them. But I just thought that I would set up my notebook and get it ready for March while I just kind of shared a few of those extra little, I don't know, kind of wrap up February, I guess. With just kind of those things that I wish I had said, but I didn't say. So here we go. So you're just kind of watching me spread paint on my notebook, get it ready. I'll link everything I used in the description box below, but I probably won't talk a whole lot about what I'm doing. So watch or just listen, whatever, just take some time. So for February, our verses were all about love. We did Proverbs 17:17, which was a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for adversity. We did Psalms 133, 1 through 3, and that was, behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell in unity. It is like the precious oil on the head, running down on the beard of Aaron, running down on the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forevermore. And then, of course, we did John 3:16, which is, for God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. And then this last week, our verse was Matthew 5, verse 44. It says, but I tell you this, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And man, that one is still just, probably because it's fresh. But even in that verse, I'm sorry, a little tickle in my throat. Even within that verse, it just kind of brings all those other verses together for me. Because if we really work at this, at being a friend to those who are actively hostile to us, or, really cause a lot of adversity in our life. If we are a friend to those who insult us, who are slanderous to us, who falsely accuse us, if we bless those people, if we speak well of those people, and if we really learn to do that, I think that, especially this Psalms 133, where is that? When it says, behold, and they're saying, like, look at this. This is a really seldom seen event. Like, behold, sit here and pause and gaze upon this. Maybe it wouldn't be such a behold moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we really learned this, if we really took this to heart, to speak well of, which is what to bless means, if we really learned that, to speak well of those that hate us, that are hostile towards us, that insult us and slander us, and really learn to be a friend to those people, living in unity with them may not be such a rare thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be something that maybe we could get to easier, quicker, faster. The rarity of it would not be so rare. I don't know how else to say that. And that we could really live out this Proverbs verse that we go from being a friend to a brother, to someone who is born into a family of people. Because remember, that's what that really meant the word brother was used in the widest sense of the relationship. So it doesn't mean a blood family. It just means that, when you walk through some adversity with people, that there becomes more of a closeness, that you're more than just a friend, that you were born into, or you become a brother in the midst of that. And I was just thinking that is really, it all comes back to Matthew 5:44, that if we would learn to do that, how much, easier those previous verses would become. I don't know. That just is something like, I'm just kind of reminding myself of that. I'm even had a blank page in the back of my journal, like I did too many pages. And I'm writing all this out here, that's what I want to remember from this month, is really coming to understand this particular verse. But I also, how do you get there? How do you get to a place where you don't automatically think in, do I want to say confrontational, competitive, that that's not your first thought when there's people that are kind of against you. And they may not even be against you. It may just be the way their personality is versus your personality, and it feels like someone is out to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to learn to really filter that and make sure that we aren't just taking things really sensitive. I was watching a YouTube video of an artist the other day, and she was talking about some kind of where her work was going as an artist, and it's not something her husband or her parents enjoy. And she said, and that's okay. I want to please them because of who they are in my life. She said, but when they're saying, oh, that's okay about a piece of art, she said, they're not saying, well, you haven't pleased me. They're just saying that piece of work is not pleasing to my eye. You know what I mean? Like, and I think there's a lot of the times for us that we take things so personal from people, whether they be close or not, that we, in this world, there's lots of offense happening, and then all of a sudden, everybody around you is your enemy. And we have to really learn to filter that and make sure we're in a healthy place, and that we're not just being ultra sensitive or, just different things like that we really need to take into account, become self-aware, so that we can deal with things and not look at people as enemies. And even within that verse, when some of the commentary, it was saying that at that time the Pharisees were saying that the enemy was anybody that wasn't a Jew, so anybody that was different than them. Well, everybody is different than you. Not just culturally or racially or anything like that. Everyone has different opinions and different views and different aesthetics that they... Did I say that word right? Anyway, different things that they like. And we have to remember that's okay. That doesn't make them an enemy because they don't like, their pizza the same way that I do. I don't know. That's anyway, in that I was really contemplating on the John 3:16, And I think if we really understood the gift and the love that God has for us, that in turn makes loving our enemy so much easier. That we would be able to step out of ourselves and step out of our comfort zone and embrace people in a different way when we really are secure in that love that God has for us. And a lot of times I feel like I am, but then when something comes up to challenge me, or just or if I am in a vulnerable place and I don't mesh real well with someone, I do get in this insecure place, and it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else but me and where I am with God. And we forget to look there. And I think that's really important. Again, it's this whole self-aware thing. We really have to be aware of where we are mentally, physically, spiritually, who we are, and just, our personalities and how we can misconstrue things, or that we don't maybe take sarcasm well, or maybe we are too sarcastic and we can upset people, that not everybody's going to understand you, and you aren't going to understand everybody. Just different things like that, so that we can get out of our little bubble and take a look at different perspectives. But to be able to do that, we have to be really, really secure in that love that God has for us. And, we forget to go back to John 3:16. We forget to go back there in that place of awe and wonder, and rest in what He did for us when we didn't deserve it. For one, we didn't know really we didn't understand what He was doing for us. Just the awe and wonder of this happened 2,000 years ago, long before my time, even though some days I feel like I'm that old. But that is just as real then as it is now, that love for me. Like, if I was the only one, He would have still sent His Son for me. And I have to learn to rest in that, to be able to love my enemies and to love them into a place where they become friends. And then eventually, if it's, in God's timing or in His plan, that I may even be the one that is there for them in a time of adversity, and I become a brother, that I become a sister, but I become family because of what I've walked through with them. And that we can learn, as different as we are, because if we've started out as enemies, you got to know it's because of some probably big difference. That we can dwell together in unity, that we can be one and joined as a unit, not uniform. It doesn't mean we all of a sudden become the same thinkers and same ideas and same, thought process. But our love of God is what connects us, that we've walked through these things together. And so that's just, that's where I am in kind of looking at and wrapping up February. And I hope you've enjoyed these verses, and I hope you're excited. And I am so excited for the verses we have for March. I am like just really looking forward to these. So if you haven't, jump on Instagram or Facebook. I will link those below as best as I know how. I struggle with that one, but anyway, I'll link those below, and so you can get those March verses, get those ready for your journal, because we're going to talk about praise and worship and prayer and His kingdom this month, and I can't wait to share those with you. So I hope you've enjoyed this little recap and bonus video and setting up for March with all the bright spring colors, and just getting things prepared so that, we can just dive in. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you on Sunday as we discuss Psalm 150. Bye, guys.